This week in Post, haze isn't always a bad thing. Hey everybody, I'm Scott Davenport. Welcome to In Post. So today's topic is haze, hazy photos, atmospherics in our landscapes. And these aren't always bad things, right? Some scenes are hazy and we can embrace that for certain processing and just add that type of mood or atmosphere, amplify it, make it part of our photos. I've got a photo from the Mesquite Dunes. I showed you some footage of when I was out in the field there earlier this week. And it's one of those photos where having the haze, having the atmosphere makes sense. And I even amplified it in a couple of places. So let me show you what I've got here in Lightroom. So this is the final process photo. I'm going to press the backslash key. We'll see a bunch of different things shift, most notably color, and a couple of people I've removed. But you can see to begin with, this is already kind of, it feels a little washed out. It's kind of a hazy photo. It's a sandy desert, and there's a lot of particulates in the air. So let me put that preview, turn that back off. And because a lot of times people ask me about the color and so forth, that's really coming from these vibrance and saturation sliders. If I turn off that vibrance, you're going to see that dip down. And same thing with saturation. So that's where the predominance of that color boost is coming from. Let me undo those. But I want to point out a few things with respect to haze. And first is that I didn't do anything with dehazing, right? If we go down to effects, there's a dehaze slider and there's nothing going on. So I didn't do anything. There's a lot of haze up here. You can barely see that mountain range in the back. And there's little to no detail in the mid to background. And I'm okay with that. I like that. It gives this photo kind of a softer feeling. There's a couple other things I did to amplify this as well. In the basic panel, notice I took clarity in the reverse direction, in the negative direction. So that's removing local contrast. That's softening just about everything. Well, not just about, it's softening everything in the photo. And another thing that I did is in the gradient filter, I've got one up here at the top, and if I select that one, you can see I'm actually increasing the exposure a little bit. And so, further washing out that background and making it, almost, this like grayish white color. So it's adding to that atmosphere. Now, one thing that I did counteract is for that clarity slider. Notice that the shrubs, these scrub things here, and here, those are still quite sharp. And so the negative clarity that was in the basic panel, I offset that with, I'll pick this one here, and I'll hover there for a minute so we can see what gets selected. Used a range mask to get a nice selection on just the bush here, and then added clarity. So that's the opposite of having everything softened. So if I turn off, I have three of them, 1, 2, 3, each for each one of those bushes, are all doing the same type of thing. Now if I turn off that for just a moment, you can see that, wait for Lightroom to catch up here. These bits of scrub are getting very soft, and this especially noticeable in this midground one. It's just this green here is kind of all slobbered together. I'll turn that back on, and that extra boost of clarity to counteract what I'd done in the basic panel, so that those handful of foreground subjects that need to stay sharp remain sharp. Well, the tip of the week is that if you have a hazy photo, don't automatically reach for that dehaze slider. Take a moment and think, does the atmospherics, does the fog, the mist, whatever it might be, does that add to the mood of your photo? And if it does, work with it, take it, use it, and maybe even amplify it. Haze doesn't equate to bad in landscape photos. It can be quite alluring and something to work into your photos. That'll do it for this week's In Post. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, please let me know somehow. Comments on the video below are great. Social shares, always appreciated. If you've got a question about photography, hit me up. Contact me through any of my social feeds, comments below, or through my website. Happy to hear what's on your mind photographically, and I can usually turn an answer around to you in a day or two. And I may use your idea to feed future videos. I love getting to talk to other photographers because it makes me think about my photography too. It's win-win. We both benefit. Well, until next time, my name's Scott Davenport, and happy shooting.